Activision Blizzard has decided to cancel BlizzCon. Not due to the pandemic, but because they can't trust themselves around their fans. Well, it's a reason, I suppose. To be fair, it's a pretty goddamn good reason in all due reality, as they need to make sure that their events are as safe, welcoming, and inclusive as possible. Which really makes me wonder, Blizzard, what about the other, 16 events? What was unsafe about them? Or unwelcoming or exclusive? I mean, I guess you could argue the ticket prices, they were pretty ludicrous, but still. And the best part is, too, again, this has nothing to do with the pandemic, because as they point out here, this was teased in May. The pandemic was a pretty known factor at that point. This didn't simply just leap out at them and they'd go like, oh shit, virus, damn it. No. And the best part of it all, of course, is there's one mention here. Some male employees began to see women at the convention not just as customers, but as groupies. That's very optimistic for a bunch of video game developers. One woman who worked there recalled a conversation in which one of Blizzard's top executives, they never mention names here, it's weird, told a group of his staff that young women, both fans and colleagues, saw them as superstars. And why shouldn't they benefit sexually from that? Oh yes, I can see it now. Bobby Kotick standing there. Kotick? Whatever. Standing there, speaking to a group of people, including female employees, going like, right, listen here, lads. Those people out there view you as superstars, and why shouldn't you benefit sexually from this? This is one of those likely stories, isn't it? Now, I could see it happening as a drunken joke between a random group of dudes, sure, but oh no. Top executive told a group of staff that these young women would view them as superstars, and they should totally exploit that for their own sexual gratification. I mean, hell, with all the shit coming out from Activision Blizzard, maybe it's true. They are progressives after all, so maybe that's the problem. I keep assuming that these are just, people. Normal people. Whereas I should bear in the back of my mind that these are very progressive individuals. And to them, sexual misconduct is far more of a style of life. Integral to their culture, you might even say. Good God. Though, the question here is this an executive decision? Not the sexual misconduct part. No, we haven't gotten that far just yet. Is this a decision to cancel BlizzCon, something made by the leadership, or is it something forced through by the employees? As something else rather interesting occurred as well. There's a little Twitter thread here, which basically talks about the Overwatch Jessie McCree's name change into that of a professional porn actress, which personally I heartily applaud. Porn actresses need far more recognition in modern day media than they're currently getting. They put on a lot more of a performance than most of the actual actors. They've got a lot more skin in the game, you could say. Moving on. She's explaining that this was something done by the actual employees against the wishes of the leadership, the CEOs, and they pushed this through. Which, if the regular dudes, the Overwatch team, have the power to change the name of a character like Jessie McCree against the express wishes of the executives, what does that imply? I mean, we've been talking a lot about an internal coup as of late, and I believe that's been proven beyond any reasonable doubt at this point. And BlizzCon, an event where indeed thousands of people come, and they do view the creators and the CEOs, etc., as a little bit like superstars. Okay, let's take that for granted, right? Wouldn't this be a fantastic PR event for those CEOs, for those executives, to walk out on stage to an adoring audience, to make big, cool, awesome announcements, an ability to show themselves from the very best side possible? And if you're pushing for a power grab and a internalized union, would you want that? I don't think you would. Man. It's speculation, of course, but it certainly does fit the pattern, does it not? BlizzCon was also the location for the Cosby suite, which was in... okay, so let me just read it then. A party suite run, as if this is some kind of major operation, by Alex Afrazibi and other Blizzard employees, was used for networking earlier in the evening. The party suite was the location for inappropriate behavior, as referenced in the DFEH lawsuit. Stop you there for a second. It was allegedly the area for inappropriate behavior. And also, the entire combination with Cosby as well, it's like, oh, the rapist Bill Cosby. You mean the acquitted individual Bill Cosby. And why was it named the Cosby Suite? Because there was a picture of him on the wall. What the hell? It's such a ridiculous thing. I literally bet you, they hung this picture up on the wall because Bill Cosby was not exactly an unpopular individual back in the day, before the whole events, of course. And due to his later reputation, people figured if we name this the Cosby Suite today, sounds pretty awful, doesn't it? I mean, they're certainly correct, aren't they? Oh, heavens. Now, I've talked about this a little bit as well previously, but if what's happening here is indeed what we're theorizing, that this is indeed an internal power grab, and honestly, I think there is plenty of evidence to cement that idea quite thoroughly at this point, then what would be the next step here? Well, right now, the actual people, the workers, have demonstrated that they actually have more power than the upper leadership by forcing through the name change of a long-established character, a fairly popular one as well, and they did so, I bet you, with absolute goddamn mad rush and abandon. This took a couple of months. Maybe, tops, which is really a short time in game development terms, particularly in a studio as massive as Blizzard, because if it had been going through the usual circles, I don't know, I imagine they would have Googled the name a couple of times, just to check, like, could there be some potential issues with choosing this name? Because Twitter spotted this within minutes. No. This was done by the dudes in the Overwatch team, as confirmed by the whole Twitter thread. And I love the justification as well. Oh, they pushed this through because they don't have the power to do anything that really matters. Okay, so you're admitting that this didn't matter at all. This was completely pointless, an absolutely worthless gesture at best. I mean, I agree, so I suppose we can't criticize that too heavily now, can we? But what would the leadership do? Well, if I were them, I probably would try to use BlizzCon as a stage to show myself off at the absolute best I can be and be the face of some kind of big new announcement. You know, what I would do is I would just get a list of everything the fans have been yelling for years in World of Warcraft, one of the popular games, and I'd just go, check, check, check. Do that, announce it to a howling crowd of fans, and suddenly you're going to see quite the flip in public opinion, I imagine, which is why the employees probably, again, pure speculation, sabotage the whole goddamn thing. Though, again, they do now have actual diversity commissars coming to work for them. There will be a EEOC representative looking over their shoulders, presuming the settlement stands, which is currently being challenged by the Californian District of Housing or some such nonsense. They're being sued by like 3 other entities at this point. But the employees are clearly in charge here. They are driving their own narrative, and they can't even purge them. The CEOs can't just fire them because, well, they've got equal opportunities, what was it, the EEOs, equal opportunity employment something, breathing down their neck. Man, they need to start taking this PR battle way more seriously. The problem is they surrendered right off the bat. Or, well, initially there was actually a rather spirited response by that one woman, the previous, was it Obama era? No, Clinton? I don't remember. Some kind of previous political person, anyways. She actually put out a very spirited defense and flatly rejected all of these allegations. Then she was hauled down from her pulpit, kicked out of the office, and then the surrendering began. Weirdly enough, surrendering doesn't seem to be working. See, that's the problem. Surrendering might work when you're dealing with a civilized opponent that is willing to leave you your life and maybe a bit of your honor and property. When you're dealing with a bunch of howling, blood-maddened savages, however, whose only actual response to your surrender is to assume you have committed a grave misdeed and they now need to torture you so as to get you to regain your honor. Fun fact, the Indians actually did that. Oh, the Indians. The Indians were a funny bunch, but anywho, they would probably still go absolutely white in the face with horror and deep-seated revulsion once seeing what's about to be done to the Blizzard CEOs. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see how it shakes out, but I'd be very surprised if the top leadership remains in their leadership positions for another, year or so, tops? Before they're probably removed outright, possibly with Californian aid. A state decapitating a private company. Maybe. It does have a certain ring to it. Anywho, until next time, I've been Arch, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you all again soon. Till then, have a good day.